What's up YouTube, Time Itself here, taking a look at the Battlefield 4 March 2015 patch. The big news that really surprised me and got me right back on the game immediately to try things out were changes to the in-combat system, specifically dealing with healing and respawning on squad mates. You can't spawn on squad mates when they're in combat. You also can't heal when you're taking damage, and the med bag, the big one, won't heal you if you're getting suppressed. The healing changes, probably not a huge deal, might improve things just a little bit, but the spawn changes, we're going to have to talk about this, but specifically, what is in combat? Because I really wonder. I haven't seen this explained anywhere by DICE, and there's no indicator on your screen saying you're in combat or you're not in combat. It's a little easier to figure out the med bag changes. I'm just going to get myself in a firefight here, throw down a med bag, reload, stick my head back around the corner, shoot a few rounds, take a little damage, and when I come back around the corner, it takes less than 2 seconds before my health starts to recover. If I take a fair amount of damage, it takes longer to heal than it does to start healing. But you can see the suppression stopping my healing every once in a while. Watch the health, it'll drop to 50, I'll come back around the corner, it'll go up to 53, a round hits the wall next to me, I get suppressed, and my healing stops for just a second. But let's get back to the squad spawns. Squad spawns in Battlefield 3 and 4 can just be so goofy, it's ridiculous what can happen. It's up there with medic revive trains in terms of ridiculous stuff Battlefield is known for. Mix in a little spawn protection, and things can get even more ridiculous. And the nonsense of spawning in on a squad mate who's in combat, either knowingly or unknowingly, has been on the top of my list of things I wish DICE would address since the Battlefield 3 beta. I have a theory that part of this is due to DICE Stockholm shipping the Battlefield 4 updates over to DICE LA, who many of their members worked on Medal of Honor Warfighter. As you may recall, they had a fire team system which was essentially squads of 2 people, but it was much more aggressive about making sure you didn't spawn in when your fire team buddy was in combat. And the people who worked on Warfighter really liked that, because it was a good thing, and finally got something into BF4 along those lines. The thing that always confused me about DICE Stockholm's actions was that they clearly acknowledged squad spawns were an issue because they disabled them in Team Deathmatch. I can understand they wanted to start off with a fairly small change, but I think they need to ramp up the qualifications for in combat. Players just need to have a better understanding of when they are in combat and can't be spawned on by their squad mates. Also, it's really confusing when you're looking at the spawn in screen on one of your squad mates, and it says in combat, but there are no enemies on the map. That is rather confusing, kind of makes it tricky to decide if you want to wait for that player to come out of combat or just spawn somewhere else. I'm really interested to see what Visceral does with Hardline with regards to this change. I really hope they do something along these lines, but we'll just have to wait and see. Another change is the kill marker. It's like a hit marker, except it only shows up when you get the kill. It's fairly short, only about 3 frames. I'm just going to have to get used to it and learn to look out for it and know what it means. Just like regular hit markers, they are the confirmation, and so you'll see it show up. A short-range firefight might be a whole 1/10 of a second between when you fire the shot and when the kill hit marker shows up for that shot landing. So with recoil, people running around, all sorts of crazy stuff going on, as is typical in Battlefield, it can be a little bit tricky at first to assign why that kill marker showed up to a specific kill that you got. I feel like this is another case of DICE LA making the game their own, because DICE Stockholm, when they put the game together, that kill feed that's in the middle on the bottom, your points, when you kill someone it says enemy killed, and it's big white letters, but it kind of blends in with all the other white text, and it takes a second for it to pop up the enemy's name in that bright orange that says, oh yeah, I killed that guy. And now they get the hit marker that pops up almost immediately that says, yes, you got a kill, you gotta hope you don't miss it. Of course, if you're watching the guy, it's usually not an issue. The death animations are pretty obvious. This is going to help if he gets to round a corner and then dies around a corner on your screen too. Bad lag, huh? Or say the guy's in a bush hiding behind some cover and you can't see him very well and he's prone. Darn snipers. Yeah, this would be another case where this might help out just a little bit. They say they've resolved the problem of not being able to walk over toe-high obstacles. I really wonder how that managed to last this long. While I appreciate the work, and I think I kind of like these changes so far, I think it's probably too little, too late. Minor to moderate audio desyncing is still common enough, especially in kill cams. And there are still plenty of other bugs, some albeit probably related to the 360 hardware, but still shouldn't be in the game. Some issues just cannot be addressed, like the map design. It's for 64-player Conquest. Rush, 24 players, can be okay, can be fun, but it's not great. I appreciate that they've tried some new stuff, but it's just not working out, guys. And I have to wonder about the design philosophy behind some of these Rush maps. For example, they completely redid Flood Zone. I gave it a try, but I've come to the conclusion that I really don't like it because it puts the two teams in opposite buildings with the MCOM on the ground level and everybody fighting on the roofs, and the people who are trying to go deal with the MCOM all get shot at and rained on by grenades, and it's really not a lot of fun, so it just turns into a rooftop sniper DMR battle. And the defenders will be in their own spawns, the attackers can't go back there and clear them out from any other direction. At the same time, I'm a little bit worried about the possibility of the defenders spawn camping the attackers on the first base of Flood Zone. But really all the nice map design you can do doesn't matter when the plan basically ends up having to come down to throw smoke at the MCOM, run in there, and hope there isn't a claymore on the ground. Okay, that is a bit of a misrepresentation, but it's still not a lot of fun. And then there's the community. I use the word loosely, but there are some really good players out there, and that's awesome. Keeps things interesting. But there are far more players out there who just want to go sit in the back of the map and snipe. Hainan Resort, the first base on Rush, just terrible. I can't stand it. I don't think I've ever had a properly populated round of Rush come anywhere close to that 15-minute limit they set a while back for a single base, but Hainan has come close a few times. There's nothing that quite makes me want to just leave the game more than seeing a guy on my team with a spawn beacon on the carrier. Except for maybe when an attacker has a spawn beacon on the carrier and I'm a defender, because that's just going to be boring. There are many other changes listed in this patch, but they're much harder to discuss, including many things that can be covered under the term netcode. I encourage you to check out the patch notes if you're interested in those and more details. Overall, this patch is an improvement, and while there are some big items on here, they don't actually go far enough in making a big enough difference in how the game ends up playing. If you weren't playing Battlefield 4 before because you get tired of it, this probably isn't going to bring you back. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.